All right, everyone. With that, I am going to call this meeting to order. We will start with Secretary Page for roll call.
Chief Justice Adams,
Present.
Senator Hebb, Senator Orjaka, Senator Hamilton, Senator Coburn, Senator Andrews, Senator Adam, Senator Beville, Senator Okafor, Senator Meyer, Senator Kirkby,
Present.
Senator Otiocha, Senator Campbell, Senator Crisply,
Here.
Senator Kelly, Senator Parchman,
Here.
Senator Francis, Senator Burns, Senator Barnes, Senator Young, Senator Chidinma, Senator Obiora, Senator George, Senator Lopez, Senator Yezik, Senator DeSharla, Senator Morris,
Present.
Senator Villalobos, Senator Gomez, Senator Stefanski, Senator Ontiveros, Senator Hernandez, Senator Lubale, Senator White.
All right, thank you. We will move on to the approval of the minutes. I sent these out with the agenda in our weekly email. You should have had time to look over them. I entertain a motion to vote on last week's minutes. All those in favor of last week's minutes, please raise your hand. Okay, you can lower them. Anyone opposed to last week's minutes, please raise your hand. Okay, and then any abstentions, please raise your hand. All right, those have passed. With that being said, is anyone here for open forum?
Assalamu alaikum and hello everyone. I will be addressing my speech on behalf of SJP, Students for Justice in Palestine. I'm also the president of the organization. I'm speaking today on behalf of the film Farha, which was recently censored by Student Engagement. Our organization initially requested to screen the film, and we were informed that it was denied due to a supposed violation of the university's free speech policy. Later, when we met with Student Engagement to discuss this decision, they claimed the cancellation was actually due to insufficient time for review. However, when we asked if we could resubmit with more advance notice, we were told the film would not be allowed on campus at all. Furthermore, Student Engagement refused to specify which clause in the policy was in violation. We were told asking questions constituted debate, and if we kept pressing it, the meeting we had with Student Engagement would be shut down. This contradiction is telling. If the issue was truly about timing, then why was the free speech policy cited as the reason for cancellation? It's rhetorical. The university cannot have it both ways. The reality is that this was not a procedural matter. It was an outright ban based on content. From our perspective, the cancellation of Farha can only be interpreted as an act of censorship and a blatant violation of our organization's First Amendment rights. This decision has deeply disturbed many students, particularly Palestinian students and those who stand for truth and justice. It sets a dangerous precedent, signaling that free speech on campus is not equally protected for all organizations and viewpoints. Let's be clear. Farha has been screened at universities across the country without issue. In fact, the film's production company confirmed that this is the first time a university has ever canceled a screening. This is not a good look for our institution. It sends a chilling message, not only to students organizing this event, but to the entire student body about whose voices are deemed acceptable and whose are not. This decision does not make students feel safe. It tells us that our perspectives can be silenced at any time. And the response to the situation has been very overwhelming, not just on campus, but globally. Our social media post on this issue is gaining traction internationally, and people are watching how our university chooses to handle this. We urge the university to correct this decision and reaffirm its commitment to free expression. Censorship has no place in higher education. If the university truly stands for free speech, it must apply that principle fairly to all students and organizations. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Is anyone else here for open forum?
Best. Okay. Howdy, y'all. I'm not speaking on behalf of any organization in particular, but I am the vice president of the social work club. It has recently come to light that the university has decided to remove the flags from the Met. Removing the flags has deeply unsettled many students and shows that the university prioritizes corporate branding, according to the Patriot Talent article, over the national representation of its diverse student body. If this decision is in any way influenced by Trump's attack on diversity, equity, and inclusion, then I'm not asking, I'm not demanding, I'm pleading with the university not to comply in advance with tyranny, authoritarianism, and unjust, unconstitutional, and illegal executive orders. There comes a time when silence is betrayal. Institutions do not get to claim neutrality in the face of injustice, because neutrality is a decision. Compliance is a decision, and history will remember those who, in moments of moral crisis, chose convenience over courage. This university has a choice. It can either stand with its students, all of its students, or it can stand on the wrong side of history. But make no mistake, the student body will not forget, and we will not be silent, and we will not stop fighting for a university that stands for something greater than fear, greater than profit, and greater than the whims of those who would see diversity erased. Thank you.
Thank you. Is anyone else here for open forum?
Hello, everyone. My name is Jad. I'm a sophomore here at UT Tyler studying biochemistry. And I personally find it kind of ridiculous that all the flags are being taken down. I am treasurer for the SJP, and we just recently got the flag of Palestine hung up in the cafeteria. And now that it's being taken down along with all the other flags, it kind of makes me pretty upset with my people being from Palestine and the representation of Palestine as a country. We also have a lot of international students here, especially the student athletes who have to eat in the Met. I'm sure that probably makes a lot of them upset to see their flag being taken down. And the reason being for branding, whatever that means. I think we should work on getting the flags put somewhere else if they do have to be taken down. I think the UC would be good, or maybe we could get flagpoles like put up somewhere. But yeah, that's all I have to say.
Thank you. Is anyone else here for open forum? Okay, Seeing none, we will move on to speakers podium. I would like you all to give a warm welcome to Maddie Bailey, Assistant Director of Campus Activities, and Gage Penson, Coordinator of Campus Activities.
You already did. Can you click on schedule for me? All right, thanks for that introduction, Allison. So this is our schedule for homecoming. It's going to be the week of April 7th through 12th, if you include the weekends 6th through 13th. And so we're going to kind of walk through the schedule, and then Gage is going to talk through a couple of specific places that y'all can sign up to get involved and register your student org, or if you're a part of the department, different groups on campus. So if you scroll down, Allison, to Wednesday. So Tuesday is midnight breakfast, which I know that you guys graciously adjusted. And so we're really excited. There's going to be a roller rink right before that in the HPC. So Rec Sports was really excited and really wanted to have the roller rink to emphasize midnight breakfast. So like have something for them to go to first and then come to midnight breakfast. So I know that was part of the reason why we moved it. And so that will be on Tuesday. Wednesday is the official kickoff. So we'll have the golf cart parade, which will be student orgs. We'll have the homecoming court on the like 8-seater golf cart, and y'all can decorate them. We have the sign up right there with more information. So it all will live here on the website. And then Thursday is the Met Gala. So that's where Mr. and Miss UT Tyler will be announced. So that's exciting. And then on Friday, we have fireworks and the food truck park and a concert for you guys. So that's going to be an awesome. It's also open to the community, open to families. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And then Saturday is our biggest event, but the crawfish boil and alumni mixer tailgate, that for baseball. So it's going to take place at the baseball fields. Yeah, I'm going to hand it over to Gage.
Yeah, so she kind of mentioned a lot of opportunity to get involved through signups. You can kind of see it as we were going through, but I'll start at the top, I guess. I believe the first one was the golf cart parade. So that is where you or any of your student organizations can register to decorate a golf cart, and then during our big celebration to kick off, and then we're like, let homecoming begin, we'll have the parade come through. If someone in your organization is on the homecoming court, that's a spot where you can kind of showcase them and just a lot of school spirit. And then next is, I think it skips straight down to the tailgating on Saturday. So it says alumni mixer. We think this is a great opportunity for you to reach out to your alumni and network with them and showcase like who you are. I'm sure a lot of your alumni want to see how far you've come as an organization. So it's a great way for you to network with your alumni. And then we have the lip sync competition. So it will be in the Cowan Center, and any org can register to compete. And then we will have more details. We're still kind of ironing out some of those, but any org can compete and it'll just be fun. So is there any feedback? We want to hear some feedback if you have any on the schedule as a whole.
Sorry, one comment before we open it up for feedback. We will have distance campus activities. We're waiting to hear back from their teams about when those will be scheduled, but when those are finalized, they'll be added to the schedule. So we haven't forgotten them. They are on the schedule, just not on the website yet. So we do have details coming there. But yeah, we just want to hear like what you're most excited about. If you had feedback about different activities, maybe what you've participated in before, how it might be different this year. We're open to those thoughts. Yes.
Senator Lopez, and I'm very excited about the golf cart parade coming back. That's something I enjoyed seeing in previous years. I am looking forward to the lip sync competition as somebody who likes to see lip syncing competition compilations on YouTube. My question is what changes are being done to the crawfish boil now that it's become an alumni mixer compared to like the previous years? Because I know before it just was like we had the band, then we had the stations for the where you could get the crawfish, and then all the tables spread out on the parking lot where people just sat around and ate their crawfish.
Am I on? Okay, now I'm on. Great question. So the crawfish boil, we will still have the traditional like crawfish boil that you are used to, just that we're combining that with tailgating. So if you think of the ballparks, inside the ballpark, we will have some food trucks. Right when you walk up the gates, that will be where crawfish is, and then tailgating will be down the like pharmacy road that kind of leads to nowhere. Do you know what I'm talking about? And so that's where we're envisioning kind of alumni mixers, like you bringing back your alumni at your tables, like College of Business registered for a table so that they can showcase what they've done and bring their alumni back. So I know the names kind of get confusing and there's a lot of names happening, but they're kind of two events happening at the same time, if that makes sense. So the tailgating's happening down the pharmacy road, and then the crawfish is still happening. We're also having a bounce house and face painting and food trucks geared toward, families or adults. I saw Kayla get very excited about that. So doesn't have to be children, but that maybe gear it towards a wider audience. And so that way people can be inside the park, watching the game, hanging out outside the park, eating crawfish and doing tailgating all kind of at the same time. Does that answer your question? Okay.
Senator White here. I would just like to say I very much appreciate the golf cart parade being on Wednesday. I think previously it was on Saturdays, and it was for me because I go home every weekend. It was really hard to attend, and I haven't been able to attend it yet, so I'm really excited to do that.
Could you talk a little bit more about the roller rink and what it'll entail?
Okay, so that is going to be through Rec Sports. So I believe if any of y'all went to the ice skating rink, it's a similar vendor. So they're bringing a vendor in to come set it up. And so they have their own like safety regulations and things like that. Gage might know more about it, but it's going to be in the HPC. So I'm envisioning like on the HPC floor with like proper protection on the floor and everything. And then we did upgrade it to make it glow. So it will have some type of glow aspect. And essentially, like they monitor kind of how many students can be on it at a time. They provide the roller skates. They run everything. So if you went to ice skating, it'll kind of be similar to that, a little bit larger scale, and it'll be inside, so it'll be a little bit different. But they provide everything. You just show up. But yeah, the intention behind that was literally they said, we want to support midnight breakfast. Like, how can we support it? And so we thought that would be a good option beforehand. So.
Senator Lopez, and I'm kind of just asking this to be on record, for anybody who comes and sees this later. When do signups begin for all the organization sign-up events that you guys are having?
They are live. You can sign up now. They are live. You can sign up now. So you are welcome to sign up. They are all live on the website. I feel like I'm forgetting one sign up. Oh, Mr. and Mrs. UT Tyler nominations will go out soon. So that is not live yet because the time frame is a little tighter on that. But all of these signups are ready to go on the website. So if you just look up UT Tyler Homecoming, Google it, it'll be the first link that pops up.
Thank you guys. We appreciate that information. All right. Moving on, I would like you to give a warm welcome to Bruce Bettinger, coordinator for the Center of Student Financial Wellness.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you so much, President Schwartz, for your generous opportunity to come and speak. Thank you for all who have already participated in this process I'm about to explain. I'm coming to you today to request some input from you all as student leaders, and also just a humble ask that we could get this information out to the student body at large. So if you would please help me do that, that'd be great. So the opportunity I'm going to describe is for participation in a collaborative effort that's going on here at UT Tyler to understand student challenges and to address some of those for students who are disproportionately disadvantaged. So what we're looking for are volunteers to participate in about a half-hour interview to talk about your experiences as student leaders and as students in general. There have been a couple, I think, from this group already that have taken me up on that and scheduled appointments. Thank you so much for those who have done that. And if I think you included everyone on an email. So if you've gotten an email from myself, President Schwartz, that's what I'm talking about with the interviews. So yeah, again, they're very brief. They are limited to your own experience. The information is not being shared out other than disaggregated information. So that is to say, none of it is traced back to you personally. We're kind of looking for trends. And really, this work is just informing the work that we do to help reach students who we may not have on our radar already. So I understand that that was probably about the vaguest way I could have described that. So let me just pause and let that sink in, and I'll ask for any questions.
Questions?
It was so vague, you don't even know what to ask. So if you like to talk, if you would be happy to share your experience, if you want to tell me how much you hate UT Tyler, I'm kidding. But if you do want to do that, I welcome your feedback. I'm kidding. But seriously, or am I? I don't know. Anyways, yeah. So again, we're looking for your experiences. It's nothing terribly personal. If you are interested in sharing your experience with me, please you can send me an email, respond to the email that you already got from us. And yes, again, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for the opportunity to come. Yes.
Okay, just gotta make sure it's working. Chief of Staff Richardson, I see your title says you're part of student financial wellness as the center there. Are the questions mostly based around financial wellness for students, or is it a lot more broad than that? I'm just kind of curious.
That is a great question. I should have prepared a speech that kind of covered that. So in a roundabout way, yes, but not because of my position. So I took on this role in connection with my love for wellness. And so I'm trying to branch out a little bit in my role professionally. So that's part of why I got involved. However, as it turns out, one of the disadvantages that we see students having disproportionately are financial ones, perhaps unsurprisingly to anyone in the room. Probably not a shock to you all. College is expensive, and there are lots of other things that cost money, and as it turns out, a lot more money these days, besides just tuition and fees. So some of the questions do deal with financial challenges specifically, but really we're also looking for broader patterns and themes, as well as institutional roadblocks, things that might make us not as effective in reaching people who might be experiencing any kind of challenges. And that may be mental health challenges, that may be access challenges, that may be other kinds of challenges that we're not even aware of yet. So it's intended to be really broad, but we're also trying to narrow down to identify a specific subpopulation so that we can design this intervention. So hopefully that answers your question. Thank you so much. Yes.
Senator Okafor, I was wondering if you sent the email out to everyone in the room?
No, so I asked for volunteers a couple, like the past few weeks. So if you would like to get involved. If you would like to get involved now that you know more, please you can email me or text me, and I will get you in contact with Bruce. That is no problem. We would love to have more volunteers. Anyone else? No? Okay.
Thanks again. Thanks.
Mine's on.
Thanks again for your time today, and I hope to schedule some times with you all.
Thank you. We appreciate everyone who came for Speakers Podium today. We appreciate the information that you all gave. So thank you. Moving on, we'll move on to officer reports. So my report for this week, I've been looking at attendance, looking at things like that, emailing new people for Speakers Podium. We have some good people on the list for the next few weeks, so I am very excited about that. Taking all of your feedback into consideration when emailing and things like that. So other than that, been working on elections and getting that out to the whole student body and you guys. So we will have a larger discussion about that later. Other than that, we will move on to Secretary Page.
All right. Secretary Page. Man, I'm having to remember my past week. Last Wednesday, I met with SJP before e-board, and we kind of discussed their concerns with their movie and also the flags coming down. I encouraged them. They already had scheduled a meeting with Josh to discuss it, so I encouraged them to just follow through with that and to come to open forum and speak about their concerns. And if they have any further concerns, keep on coming. What else did I do? Y'all saw the Instagram post. The judicial board post is up. It got a lot of traction. We did have somebody reach out about the open justice seat, so that is really cool to hear. And the big event post is also up. Got a lot of likes, got a lot of interactions. So it's really cool to see. I believe that is all for now. I should have more for communications.
Chief of Staff Richardson, for my report this week, obviously the big event was last week, and that was awesome. Thank you to all who participated in that. Like Tyler said, the post is up, so please go like and share that to make sure that impact gets felt throughout the social media community. As for my stuff, Rules Committee met last week. We'll talk more about that in that section of the agenda. And I did want to make one note, since we've had so many Speakers Podium people today, that if any discussion wants to be made over that during our meeting, that can happen during new business. One quick note is that during the meeting, because of how senators' rights work, if they would like to ask any of you guys a question, that's totally allowed. If you want to ask something of us or have any kind of input, that won't be allowed during discussion, but I encourage that you guys actually stay till after the meeting, because then we can have a full-on conversation about that stuff. But anything on the minutes has to come at least starting from a senator, just because of how the rules work. So just wanted to get all that ahead of time. But like I said, I do encourage discussion both in and out of meeting for this kind of stuff. It is important for us. And I think that's about it. I'll leave it back to you, Allie.
Okay, we will move on to committee reports. We'll start with communications.
Okay, communications committee did meet last week. We just kind of opened up a Zoom. If you're able to pop in. It's Fridays, 2 p.m. till 5 is typically when I'm in the office. Or if you're just able to pop into the office, I still encourage you to come. We talked about the post that were going up, I believe, the J board and the big event. Well, the big event went up yesterday, but we did talk about the J board post, and yeah, it looked good. This upcoming week for communications, once we know what our theme is for Midnight Breakfast, we will start discussing our shirt designs, and there will be a kind of a poll going out on the Instagram for possibly color palettes that students want to see. So yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna go backwards actually to Kathy, Vice President Romero for events.
Hello, everybody. Vice President Romero. I apologize for my tardiness. Can everyone hear me right?
Yes, you're good.
Okay, perfect. Events met yesterday, and
we discussed kind of like a recap of the big event and what we thought about it. And then we took some notes and we're still going to be discussing it a little bit more. But we had a vote for the theme for Midnight Breakfast, and we had, I think, about 5 or 6 theme ideas, and unexpectedly ended up in a tie. So I'm gonna have events vote, and then we're gonna have to announce it tomorrow. The only thing I ask is once we decide the theme for tomorrow, I would like to have t-shirt designs or have that brought up for discussion next week so we can have those ready and done for midnight breakfast as soon as possible.
Okay, thank you. We'll move on to rules. I was just kidding, guys. SJC, sorry.
Wait, okay, we're good. Okay, hi everybody. It's Senator Kelly for SGC. Last week we met with 2 organizations. First, we met with the American Society for Heating, Refrigeration, and Air Conditioning for their electric bill community outreach event on March 20th in RBN 1035. We approved them for $154.31. And then we met with Chi Alpha for their Stories of Redemption event on the 4th of March in the PZ, approved them for $280.86.
Chief of Staff Richardson, as I mentioned before, rules did meet last week. We actually got to go into some of the suggestions that the students had. I sent out notes in the group me, so if anybody wasn't able to participate in the meeting, the notes are all there for exactly what we went through. I won't go into super detail here since it was kind of spread out and a little bit longer to go through. But feel free to ask me any questions at any point or check the group me because notes will be in there along with assignments for looking through the Constitution.
Macy, do you have something for ESC?
Not really, but Senator Kirkby, we just met last week. We're trying to plan the Recycle Mania event, and we're just working through that right now, but no new current updates.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to student voice reports. I believe health science is not here. Houston, we don't have anybody. If you know anyone at the Houston campus, please get them in contact with me. Same for Palestine. For Longview, we will go to Senator Morris.
Senator Morris, if you can hear us, you are still muted at the moment.
I'm sorry, I was trying to get off Zoom. Get off mute. Okay. And so this is for the Longview campus report. This is Senator Morris. I did get an opportunity to talk with Dr. Deborah Crumpler, who is our site coordinator. Her and I talked and discussed getting together next week, so that we can determine a time that I can set up a table in the lobby area and invite the students from the Longview campus to come down and to talk with me and to share with me any concerns that they have for the campus that I can then bring back to her and bring back to you guys. We also talked about getting together with the faculty to share those concerns and see if we can come together and find a solution and a resolution. So hopefully not next week, but the week after that, I'll be able to give you guys a report that that meeting did occur. And if there were any concerns that needed to be addressed, I can share them at that time.
Thank you, Senator Morris. All right, with that, we will move on to old business. Does anyone have anything to add for old business? Okay, seeing none, I entertain a motion to open new business. Okay, with that, I entertain a motion to open the master and strategic plan discussion. Okay, so I don't know if you guys all saw that our master and strategic plan was published and approved. So I just wanted to go through some of that with you. We will have a more in-depth speaker's podium on this, but I did just want to show you guys so you were all informed and staying up to date on what exactly was presented. So I'm mainly going to focus on the new entrants. I'm just going to show you this, and then if you have any comments, questions, concerns, I will answer those to the best of my abilities. So this is going to be the new campus entrance. From my understanding, it is going right across University. Yes, University by Enox, so that students will be able to safely cross that street over the road. From my understanding, Texas Dot Department of Transportation is also very concerned about pedestrians crossing there and just the number and flow of traffic there. So they are already thinking about putting in a light. So this is, a good leeway for that. So does anyone have any comments, questions, or concerns on this?
Senator Andrews, I, at least from my experience, haven't noticed the absurd amount of foot traffic going across the street enough to warrant a bridge going across the entirety of University. Maybe like a light, but I feel like a bridge, like a massive bridge with concrete structures on both sides, since the other side isn't really ours, doesn't really make sense.
Thank you for the feedback. Did you have a question?
Senator Lopez, in response to the earlier comment, I'm one of the people who crosses that street, and that's because I work there at Hangry Joe's. And so, due to not having a vehicle, I do cross that street every weekend to get to my job. And there is a lot of foot traffic. I only see the weekend foot traffic, in which I've seen students come from off campus and I see them cross the street whenever they put me on front register to either go to the Pizza Hut or Enox during the weekend to go study or to go to Insomnia Cookies. So while it's not as much, there's still quite a bit of foot traffic during the weekend. So I don't know how much it is during the weekday. And so I do feel like the bridge is a wonderful addition. My only, I guess, concern or comment is how long is each construction gonna take? And how, because that will be a lot of construction going on around campus and on campus.
Yeah, so this project will be in collaboration with obviously Texas DOT and the city. So construction dates are still very up in the air because this is a master plan for the next, few years. So I believe this is part of kind of their first steps, but I am not clear, and I don't think leadership is clear on how long that will take quite yet. Chief Justice Adams, I will move to you.
Okay, thank you. I was also just going to briefly expand on that. I was a person that would cross the road right there. It's very unsafe. You have to go all the way to the light just to come back. I would argue that there is a lot of students that have that issue. And in a sense, this will now connect the campus to local businesses adjacent to us. So I think this is actually a really great step for the institution, also collaborating with our small businesses and kind of creating more opportunities for students on campus. So.
Thank you. I will move to you guys. Yeah.
Senator White, I think this is a great idea to have the bridge, but online I've seen several students voice their concerns about how this is going to affect our tuition and if it's going to raise it or not.
Yeah, so UT system did just pass that the tuition won't be raised. I'm not clear on how long that will be, but I think this is just kind of coming with the territory, and I think they will try to gain funds from wherever possible to make sure that students' tuition does not go up. But
Senator Okafor, I personally think this is a great idea. Um, as a nursing student, I have classes here at the COB for now, but we have 120 students in our classrooms, and I see plenty of students crossing over because there's no parking here, especially for commuters. They can't find parking on campus, they're parking off campus to those locations because they're closest to us. And I see maybe dozens at a time people crossing the crosswalk.
Thank you. We'll move on to Secretary Page.
Secretary Page, I'm going to echo a lot of what Chief Justice Adams said of connecting us more to the community, but also I view this as an opportunity for more on-campus food options, on-campus quotes. And, you know, I don't know about y'all, I'm not trying to cross that 5-lane road to go to Hangry Joe's. And I don't want to drive, less than 100 yards across the street for it. But other than that, I will say the university has been very cautious historically whenever it comes to increasing tuition. They're very considerate because we are one of the cheaper universities within the UT system. It's always approached with a lot of thought and a lot of care to ensure that if tuition is raised, it is for a good reason.
Senator Lubale, I know we still don't have like a lot of information regarding this, but I feel like whenever this is brought back up in another general meeting that we have, a question that if you could ask on behalf of me is, whenever construction does start, will university be shut down? What parts of like university will be shut down? Will there be what is it? Another way to access Cobb or parking or anything like that?
Yeah, so this is going to be presented very soon during Speaker's Podium. So you will all be able to ask all the questions that you want to leadership, who obviously is in the know. I just wanted to kind of preface and let y'all see this beforehand. So we'll move over here.
Senator Burns here. I was going to comment on when you were mentioning the financials and tuition increases. Historically, at UT Tyler and other system universities, a lot of this money is going to be coming from grants and system funds. So this is not necessarily directly coming from like UT Tyler's budget to build these things. And then also earlier, as someone who even went to high school at University Academy, I've drove up and down this road so many times a day for the last 5 years. And I can tell you there are tons of people crossing that road, especially given that it's a 55. I mean, people are flying. I've seen people go 70 miles an hour on that road. I mean, actually, I think years ago, someone actually got killed crossing the road here. It was a very long time ago, but it's definitely a need to have a safe way to cross the road to get to those places over there.
Senator Otiocha, I hate to be the saddest, but I actually disagree with the bridge, kind of what he said. I feel like it's a little excessive to put a bridge over there. A light would be enough if you can get them to stop and then the traffic to let people cross. Part of why I say that is the right side of the bridge is not even UT Tyler property. So it defeats the purpose of saying it's an entrance if only the left side of the bridge is UT Tyler. And then also, you said that they were going to come speak on the podium, so I kind of say that question for them, but the height of the bridge would also play a factor because the big trailers that come on the road would have to go under, and the higher you build it, the more expensive and like extraordinary it looks, and it's kind of it kind of doesn't make sense to have a bridge that high right there, like on Beckham.
Thank you. Go to Senator White.
Senator White, I just wanted to clarify, I just wanted that on the record, because I was hearing other students voice that concern. I personally think it's a great idea. It may be a little extravagant, but that's something that will make our campus stand out and make our campus better. And something to remember, we have the bell tower, the bridge could be another thing that we, have on our campus. So yeah.
Okay. Anyone else?
Okay, Senator Andrews. So this bottom right picture, I'm assuming that to the left of that would be SCOB, to the right of that would be a parking lot. Would this take up an entire like maybe row and a half of parking?
Yeah, so these are just first mock-ups, obviously. So, I think they're pretty much kind of leaning towards adding a right lane for turning. But these are just mock-ups, so this is very first stages, so I am unclear on that. I don't want to speak to anything that I don't know about. But these are all really great questions, and I think we should definitely ask all of these questions whenever they do come and speak for Speaker's Podium, because these are the questions we need to be asking. But with that, I'm going to go ahead and move on to, just kidding. One last question, then we will move on.
Senator Hernandez. So I am in favor of the bridge, and actually a big reason is, okay, if we think about this, there's two lights. We have one light over there, we have another light over here. Both of those can get really backed up really easily. If we added another light, it's more time that traffic would be stopping, decreasing the flow. So I mean, time is money, people. Like, I feel like, look, we'd not only be increasing the flow of pedestrians, but we'd also be increasing the flow of traffic there, which would be beneficial for everyone. Because, I mean, like, this is a main artery, coming into campus. To have that always blocked up would just be a nuisance. And yeah, I mean, sure, it may look a little excessive, but I mean, safety first, man.
Thank you. With that, we'll move on to this. This is very long term, so this will be towards, the end of this time frame. But they are planning on creating a new pond and a new dining hall. This is the residence hall, and then the dining complex will be aside. From what I've heard and what they've told me is that the first phase will be the residence hall, and then the second phase will be dining. So I think this will be an interesting addition. I think this is definitely going to be very long term, probably when most of us are gone. But I do appreciate your thoughts and opinions on this piece of that, if you have any.
Senator Tiocha, I had a question. I don't know if you know, but that pond that they're gonna dig down to create another. Okay, I disagree with that as well. I don't want to be a sadist, but it's taken away from property land that we already don't have to create a site C when we already have two ponds.
So, from my understanding, there's already a water retention issue within where they're building this. And so, understanding that these trees, yes, may be knocked out, but we still also have many acres of land available to us for different things. So, I think their idea was, there's already a water retention issue. And so, kind of fixing that with a pond would be best. But they would truly love your opinions and thoughts on this.
Senator Lopez, and I guess I'll be speaking the opposite. I love the new lake idea, but that might just be me speaking from personal perspective as a biology student. While I am very much saddened that we are probably going to lose a lot of trees on campus in order to build a new residence hall and the dining hall. It is a bit lessened by the fact that with this new lake, we can add more biodiversity and hopefully be able to do more with the biology department with these lakes and maintaining and care of these lakes.
And I do want to remind everyone that we are a Tree USA campus. So for every tree that we take out, we put another one up. So obviously the trees will be smaller, but we will still be retaining the same number of trees on this campus, whether something is built or not.
Senator White, I would just like to say I'm really happy we're getting more residence halls, and I really like the idea that the dining hall is right next to it as well. There's a lot of major campuses that they have that, and it's very common, and I think that's going to be really great for all students.
Question? No? Okay. Tyler?
Secretary Page, do we have any information about like the room types that'll be in this new? Oh,
Yeah, so since this is so far down the line, we do not know, or I do not know room types. So I think that'll definitely be late stages of planning, so they have to kind of get, first stages done. Does anyone have anything else to add? Questions? Okay. Oh, one more.
Senator Burns here. I just want to make a comment about previous comments that have been said when it comes to like things being maybe a little excessive. I think it's a great thing for this university. This is UT Tyler, and I think doing things to improve the beauty of this university, even if they might seem excessive, are in the long run great for this university. You can think of like UT Dallas, how 40 years ago was not considered to be such a prestigious university as it is now, and the beautification efforts and things that they have done there have really changed the opinion of people about and institutions about UT Dallas and other UT system campuses. And I think this plan is reflective to take UT Tyler to the next step to earn that prestige of being a great university like we already are now.
Thank you. One last.
Senator Hernandez, I'm curious as to where we can access these, or is this not publicly available at the moment?
Yeah, so this is publicly available on the UT System website. You will click on Board of Regents, and there will be a tab for meetings, and you can find all of this. You can find all of their meetings, agendas, and things like that on the UT System website. So I know many news outlets have linked this, so you can also find it that way, but that is how I found it. So yeah. For sake of time, does anyone have any more questions? Okay, thank you for your input on that. I would love for you guys to come ready with questions. They will be presenting this, so they will want to hear your feedback. But overall, I think we had some really great thoughts and ideas, so thank you. I entertain a motion to close discussion on the master and strategic plan. Okay, I entertain a motion to open an election discussion. Okay, I just wanted to give a little bit of clarification on what we are doing for elections, because I know last week we were kind of up in the air. So, looking at a calendar, we are going to be having e-board and e-board elections the 26th of March through the 28th. So these will be a school-wide ballot vote election. This is not a special election like you guys have seen. So we will be sending out the email for that either probably tomorrow. That will go out student body wide. It will have the link for the election signups. There will be the dates for the candidacy meetings and things like that. So I highly encourage you to sign up. But yeah, so that is when those will be. Moving on to senator elections. Those will be the 9th through the 11th during homecoming. Typically in the past, we've done it during homecoming, so we thought let's stay true to the tradition. So if you run for an e-board position, you don't get it, you can still run for a senator position. You will not have to go through your candidacy meeting again. You will be totally fine with that. But I just want to ask if anyone has any questions about elections.
And I want to give everyone a heads up that you can, even in senator elections, still run for more than one position. If you fit into more than one constituency and you're like, hey, I'm not sure which one I want to go for, please go for both, because we want to get as many seats filled as we can. So if you're eligible for more than one, please do, because then we can fit everybody in. So anything else?
And you will all get that email very soon. So I highly suggest you look out for that email in your inbox. And we look forward to seeing your names on the ballot. I entertain a motion to close election discussion. I entertain a motion to open a big event recap discussion. So I just wanted to get y'all's thoughts and opinions on the big event and how everything went. Obviously, I couldn't be there because, I was playing tennis and, I wish I could have been there with you guys. It looked like a lot of fun. I looked at the pictures you guys sent. So I just want your thoughts and opinions on how it went.
Senator White. I want to start out by saying I think Big Event was very fun this year. It was my first year, and it was very well put together and organized. The only issue I had is in my group, only 4 of us showed up, and the other 10 who didn't show up just didn't say anything and didn't tell anybody and just decided not to show up. So that was frustrating, but also it was kind of a safety concern because for at least for where we were and several others, we actually have to drive ourselves there. And so, say they were in a car accident or something and we had no way to get a hold of them, we would have no idea where they are. They could be anywhere in Tyler. And so I think maybe if there was a way that we could have like a sign up when we get there or like, hey, scan this QR code because then we know, okay, they were at the event and then they made it to where they're supposed to be and they're not skipping getting the hours anyways.
Thank you.
Senator Young, adding to on what was just said, I do agree that we need a sign in and out sheet for when you get to the big event, when you get to your spot, when you're leaving your spot and we're leaving the big event, because I did have a friend that actually got into a car accident coming back to Bergfield. They were rear-ended and no one knew about it. I only know because she texted me. She said, hey, this happened. So that's definitely like a safety issue I think needs to be discussed for next year.
Thank you for that great feedback. Does anyone have anything else?
Senator Okafor, I think the location was a very good upgrade. I like the big stage, especially with the speakers that came, presidents for both TJC and UT Tyler came, and the mayor came, which last year they didn't come for, I've only been here since last year. One thing though I would like to change is basically just making sure people are supposed to go where they're supposed to go. And also, personally, what happened to me, I went to the recycling center in Tyler, which I didn't know we had a recycling center. And they didn't really know what the big event was. They didn't know why we were there. So it was a little weird. But we helped out in the best way we could, and I enjoyed being there. So.
Senator Lubale, even though I was not able to attend the big event because I had military drill, I feel like going back to what Senator White was saying about people not showing up to the areas that they were supposed to be in, I guess piggybacking off of what multiple people were saying about a sign-in sheet, I think there should be one. Well, I know that there was one for when everybody got there, but I feel like there should kind of not necessarily be a sign-in sheet, but I guess a check-in for when you actually get to whatever station you're supposed to be at. And I know there's only so many e-board members, but I don't know, maybe designating one senator to be like not an e-board member, but be like a leader, being like, hey guys, like check in with Senator Okafor if you're going to the recycling center to make sure everybody who's supposed to be there is there. So that way it's not 4 people doing this massive job and everybody else is just kind of freeloading, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so we don't actually run the event, but I think that is a great collaboration effort that we can make to, further get SGA involved. So I think that's a great idea for the future.
Chief Stafferson, I was going to say the same thing. We don't run it, but that's actually a pretty good idea to like pick out people who can coordinate stuff like that. That would be a lot easier. I think I saw you. Yeah.
Senator Lopez, I was unable to personally attend the event myself due to work, but the officers of another organization that I'm part of did have a recap about the event that those that were able to attend. And to go on the thing with signups or check-ins, I think that I was told they have community group leaders. I think the group leaders should also have a list of who's supposed to be in their group, because there was an incident with one of our officers who was signed in with this group that had to get shuttled bus, and she and 3 other girls were left behind by the shuttle bus. And so they were unable to go to their location.
Secretary Page, this is, I believe, my 3rd big event I've been to. They've all been really fun. I actually really like this one, having it at the park, because typically we have it at the square, which is a nice meeting place. It's very central in Tyler. The issue was putting that many people into a small space and then parking and traffic. So having it at the square or at the park, really enjoyed that. Nice and open. In the past, I believe the last big event, we did collaborate. Not I'm saying we, not us directly, but the big event collaborated with the city of Tyler to have buses go through the different sites. That is something that we could bring up, possibly looking into doing again at like the full scale. But I will agree that because there were team leaders for each group, that they should have a more of a list, and they should be more of a representative of the group running the big event, so that they're like reporting back about, hey, I have this many people, and then they made it here, this many made it back, and yeah.
Hi, Senator Campbell. I would like to say I was a team captain, and like you said, I didn't really have much responsibility in the group that I was like captaining. It was kind of like, okay, well, we're done. And they just kind of like frolicked off, and I went off to go do another project down the street to go paint a woman's back room. And it was like they just wandered off and went away, and I had no idea like where they went, what happened. And so it was just like, well, we're all adults, so I hope that they got somewhere safe. So I definitely agree with that.
Senator White, I was also a sorry, can't speak, team captain, and it was very vague. It was kind of confusing. It was at random on who got picked. Basically, we were told to take pictures and pick up the sign. That was all of our direction in the email. And so, yeah, I agree. I think it would be nice if we get chosen as a team captain. First of all, you need to show up and actually be part of your team and not just wander off. And you need a list of who all's there and what your job is too.
I do have a comment. Do you guys think that it would be beneficial for the team captains to be selected prior and to have a meeting about like what are your responsibilities and given the materials, that they will be provided with? You think that would help? Okay.
Senator Yezik, I think that overall it was a great event. Our team, I thought we really jumped in and did well. I do think that it's a great opportunity, although I'm very interested how the companies were selected for us to go to, in all honesty. But everyone, I think, did relatively well. And it's a great way to learn about things in the community that we may not know about. I had no clue about where we went with the hands up. So it was a great little organization.
That's great. Does anyone have anything else? Okay, thank you for your feedback. That's super helpful. That's the feedback we want, because if no one says anything, then we won't know. So thank you guys for that. I entertain a motion to close the big event recap discussion. Does anyone have anything to add for new business?
Start with Sophia. Sophia first. Sophia first.
I entertain a motion to open discussion about Delta Gamers philanthropy event.
Just to clarify, whenever a senator motions, you just have to second. You do not have to entertain.
Hey guys, so if you don't know me, I'm Sofia Gomez. I am a member of Delta Gamma here at UT Tyler, and they told me to come talk to y'all about our philanthropy event. So if you guys don't know, we have our philanthropy, which is Service for Sight. So we help with the blind and we do that kind of stuff and raise money for them. So for this spring, we are doing a anchor spike, which is like a sand volleyball tournament. And as of right now, we have all the frats doing it, and they asked if SGA wanted to do it. We have done it in the past. That's why they asked. So you can go on the other. Oh wait, actually, never mind. It is on April 4th. It's only 2 hours long. We're still seeing which location to be in, but it is gonna be on campus. So each team is only like 6 to 7 people. So if there's like 6 or 7 people that want to join, we would love to have another team, because we only have 3 teams right now. So if we have 4, it's like a better game. And you can also just come. just to like watch as well. Like we always encourage people. We have raffles and the money goes to Service for Sight as well. But I just wanted to come here and talk to y'all if y'all wanted to form a team because I had to let them know so we can get that started. Oh yeah. And if you guys want to buy a t-shirt, let me know. You don't have to go to Anchor Games to buy a t-shirt. You can just buy it and again money goes to Service for Sight. Is there any questions?
Senator White, when do you need the, like, when is the date that you need to have our responses by?
So honestly, I just want to see if you guys want to do it. You know, it is like 6 to 7 people. I just want to see if there's like a good amount, and then later we can like form a team or whatever. We just want to see if SGA even want to do it this semester.
Senator Okafor, I was wondering if there was going to be a prize to join like last year.
I am not sure yet, just because we're still planning it. It is until April. It's like the end of the semester. But again, we just want to see if SGA wanted to be a part of it. Since we have been a part of it in the past, we're still trying to figure stuff out. We're still trying to figure out like coaches, because like each team gets like 2 coaches to like help practice and stuff. It's not that time consuming. You guys meet like probably like once a week and just play some sand volleyball. But again, it's just a fun event. It's nothing too hard. It's just to raise money for philanthropy. It's always really fun. So yeah, is there any other questions or anyone that's interested in doing it?
Would you guys be interested in me putting a poll in our group me to see if there's interest? Yes, would a poll work? Okay.
Thank you guys.
I entertain a motion to close the Anchor Spike discussion.
I entertain both. No. Mike doing Mike things. I entertain a motion to open discussion about the open forum participants. Cool. Okay. Yeah. I just wanted to, use this time to open discussion about some of the things that they said, and if y'all have any questions for them, now's the time.
Senator Young, I also did not like that the flags were taken down in the Met, so I am currently working on a senator project. I emailed, I don't remember his name, but I emailed like the head of facilities, so I'm going to meet with him, and then I've been talking to Josh about it a little bit. Basically what it is, it's entitled Flag Senator Project. Very creative, I know. But basically what it will do is around the Patriot Plaza, which if you don't know, it's the area behind the Alumni House in front of the UC, that green area. It will just line kind of that area, the Patriot Plaza, and kind of the sidewalk with about like 8.5-foot flags. It's more temporary because we only have like a $2,000 budget, so you can't get the nicest flags that will last for years. So I'm hoping the flags will stay up a year or two, and then UT Tyler can decide where they would like the flags put after that. So I will be proposing that sometimes later. I just need to do more research on that.
Chief of Staff Richardson, this is more of a Treasurer Makata question, but she's not here at the moment. We roll over the budget for senator projects from last semester, correct? 2,000 for the year. Okay, gotcha. I'm just making sure that number was correct.
And also for that senator project, whenever that is brought forth, we can see where the flags are that were in the UC, just to see if they're still here.
All right, Senator White. Regarding the movie, I would just like to ask, I did see the Instagram post. How I saw on there that you guys were wanting us to kind of go against what the governor has said. And I was wondering, do you have any thoughts about that?
We're not asking you to do anything. We don't know why the film was canceled. We asked what clause of the free speech policy we violated. So if you're making the assumption that it was canceled because of GA 44, we cannot confirm that because we were not told what clause in the free speech policy we violated.
So in your Instagram, did you guys not talk about going against what Greg Abbott has said regarding the law?
Again, we're not asking SGA to do anything. We don't know if it was because of any executive order. We were not given clarification as to which clause in the free speech policy we violated. We're looking to come to some kind of resolution. We're not asking anyone to do anything.
Before I ask my question, did you want to go first, Senator?
Oh, that's right.
Senator Lopez, and I apologize for my ignorance, but rather just so we could have it like in the recording, and also because I was wondering what is exactly the movie. This is my first time hearing about it, and so I was wondering if you could give us like a summary or a breakdown of it so that we can know what this movie is.
The movie is Farha, Farha. It was released in 2021, and it is about a historical event in Palestine called the Nakba. It's a fictional story about a real event. Excuse me, I'm sorry. It's rated PG-13. There is some violence, but we understand that our rated R movies, rated PG-13 movies have been shown on campus.
Senator Andrews, I also did notice the whole taking down of the flags. Is there anything that we can do as SGAC? This is a question to you, to help with that, or not to help with that, but to, or essentially give them a place, or to, I don't know, interject in that process of taking them down.
Yes. So from my understanding, the flags were planning to be taken down because of a cleaning of the Met. So they're gonna clean the entire Met. They're gonna clean the windows and everything. I haven't been able to talk to leadership about this yet, because I do have upcoming meetings where we can talk about those things. But I think that's exactly what Senator Young was saying, trying to repurpose the flags for somewhere else and have them so that they're still standing and still present on campus. So we can work towards that for sure.
Senator Okafor, could you talk a little bit more about your event and the movie and what that would entail, and just so we can get a lot of the logistics on a couple aspects of your event?
Did you want to know like the location, the date, time?
Kind of like, what was it, just a movie showing? Like, yeah, location, time. Was it on Patriots and Gage? Was it approved? Did you have budgeting?
Yeah, we had submitted it. Please, just for people on Zoom. We submitted it through Patriots and Gage. It was supposed to be at the Mabry Theater, I believe at like 7. All of it was out of pocket, like the food, beverages. We went through the whole process of purchasing the rights to the movie. We have the movie in we have the rights to screen it. It was something like $150, which we're a small organization. That's a lot of money to us. And Brandy here paid out of pocket for the international wire transfer because the movie film production company is in Jordan, Amman, Jordan, and they're 9 hours ahead of us. We were given a deadline to submit the proof of copyright by noon on Friday, which was like 5 days before we were supposed to screen the actual movie. But again, there was the time delay because, again, they're 9 hours ahead of us. And the film production company was very amenable with us and sent us the receipt of payment. But again, the film was canceled and engaged, but not because of the time delay or not because we didn't get the proof of copyright in time. It was because of the free speech violation of Handbook of Procedures 7.05, which is our free speech policy. When we spoke with student engagement, we wanted to clarify so we don't violate the policy again in the future, what clause in the policy we violated, but we were not told.
Secretary Page, I believe, just give me a nod if I'm correct on this, that all movies have to go through a review process. Okay. When was the movie submitted for that review, and when was your event? Like 3 days before, 4, a week, 2 weeks?
So we submitted the event well ahead of 2 weeks in advance of when the film was to be screened. Does that answer your question?
Who's going? Yeah. You submitted the event into Patriots Engage, or you submitted the movie for review?
The film through Patriot Engage, film for review. I'm not sure what you mean.
Gosh, if Advisor Neves could help me explain the process a little more.
So just as a disclaimer, I can't speak to the specifics of event because it's a student organization matter, but generally for events, when it comes to movie, we typically wait till we obtain copyrights because it does take time and resources to evaluate movies. And so student groups were submitting multiple movie requests, we typically wait for copyrights. And so that's something that we are open to review and change. And see if we can try to make that a different process moving forward. But that is typically how the process works is we, all events, and this applies to all student life. We have to, student groups have to submit the request 2 weeks in advance. And then that gives time for all the elements of an activity to be evaluated. But then for movies, we wait until we obtain copyrights before we verify on that process.
Just to clarify, Chief of Staff Richardson, there's not a second approval it needs to go through for movies. It's just the Patriots Engage thing that they mentioned that they did already. I'm just double checking. It's not a second thing.
Once again, I can't speak to specifics, but student engagement is a funnel. So the Department of Student Engagement, we're kind of the hub. So all activities come to us, and then depending on the activity itself, it then gets farmed out to the individual departments that it impacts. So there's so many different departments, and I shared this at President's Council last week because there was a complaint about 2 weeks is not enough time. Well, the university would prefer if it was a month, but we know student groups need, sometimes organic activity happens. And sometimes 2 weeks is kind of what we have identified as that's the absolute latest that we can see an event request. Obviously, we can't require student groups to submit, further in advance. We can only set a minimum. But, I always compliment the Greeks because the Greeks submit all their activities as soon as the registration opens. They submit everything, and that gives us ample time to review all the activities to make sure we're in compliance. We approve activities as long as it meets all of our policies and procedures.
Senator Barnes, I'm just curious, was there no backup movie plan just in case it was to get denied? This seems like a passionate project for you guys, and I'm just curious, since due to the process of being denied, was there no backup plan for you guys to showcase maybe another movie with a similar concept or a message y'all are trying to portray to the student body?
The content of the film itself was pretty tame, and this was our first time attempting to screen a film. No, we did not have a backup movie. We would have had to have gone through the whole process again. Also, I would like to make a point that if it was due, like Brandy stated, if it was due to a technicality of time, I don't understand why the film was canceled due to a supposed free speech violation. That's the issue here. On my end, on Patriot and Gage, it said the film was canceled because it violated the free speech policy, HOP 7.05. And again, when we asked what clause in that policy we violated, an answer was refused. You know what I'm saying? It's the film was canceled because of a violation of the free speech policy. If it was because we didn't give them enough notice, I don't understand why it wasn't canceled for that reason.
Senator Burns here. Yep. So my question for you is that what is the motivation for your organization to show this movie? So like what message or what I think motivation is the best word. Does your organization have to show this movie? How does this movie help to send the message that you are trying to give to students into this campus? And so what was your motivation behind it?
I'm sorry. My issue is that the film was canceled because of the violation of the free speech policy. And I don't understand what part of the free speech policy we violated. The film is about a historical event. And again, this is a university. This is a place of learning. The film is educational. It's about a real thing that happened to real people, to Palestinian people like Jad and other people, Palestinian students on campus. That is the value of screening this movie, about a real historical event. But our issue is that it was canceled due to a supposed free speech violation. Our freedom of expression was stopped in violation of a supposed free speech policy that we do not know we violated. And again, we have not been told what clause in the policy we violated.
So just for clarification, are you wanting SGA to do something like what would your plan of action for us be regarding this?
We were told by student engagement that the film was not to be screened on campus. We asked if we could resubmit the film with more notice. Again, we were told that the film, PG-13, is not to be screened on campus. We would like, for whatever capacity of power you people have, to reverse this decision, or at least re-review the film with more time in the future, or tell us what policy, what clause in the free speech policy we violated.
Secretary Page. Unfortunately, I will have to tell you what I told y'all whenever I met with y'all last Wednesday before e-board, and the same answer that we gave whenever y'all came to open forum, I believe it was 2-3 weeks ago. The university has to stay compliant. We will stay compliant. I do encourage you to keep coming out to this. There are open Senate seats. I do encourage you to run for those Senate seats so that you can voice your concerns a lot more freely almost than just being an open forum participant. I understand this was a big hit from y'all's funding perspective. Student engagement does not do reimbursements. SGAC does not do reimbursements. We encourage you to reach out to SGAC if y'all have any future events. Other than that, I entertain a motion to close discussion.
So due to the fact that the due to the fact that the discussion has been motioned to be closed and that it had been carried and seconded, we can no longer have any comments or concerns regarding that. Does anyone have anything else to add to new business?
I motion to hold a discussion over the flag takedown and what that entails. So the flag takedown, I'm not quite sure. Why? Could someone kind of explain why they're taking down and the time frame?
Yeah, so again, from my understanding, the flags are being taken down because they are going to do a full deep cleaning of the Met because I don't think it's, been done with the windows and everything for a couple months or a couple years. So this just needs to be done. So it wasn't based on any of the flags. It was just they needed to clean the Met. Also, Dr. Philly does want more branding and things, so I don't know if that's part of their plan. I will not speak to that, but from my understanding, it's cleaning.
Chief of Staff Richardson, you mentioned again it's for cleaning purposes. Did you say that you were going to meet with them in the coming? Okay, so do you think it'd be a good idea if we wait to hear back, see if they're going to put them up anyways, just because of the cleaning, before we continue any further discussion?
Yes, I will be meeting with leadership. I meet with them on a monthly basis. So whenever those meetings happen, of course, I will absolutely discuss this with them.
I entertain a motion to table the discussion until Ally has finished meeting with the administration regarding this to see if this is even going to need fixing, if they're going to put it up themselves.
Does anyone have anything to add to new business? Okay, seeing none, I entertain a motion to close new business. Move on to advisor comments, Josh.
All right, so since it's fresh on the flags, and I heard some more, and so I want to compliment Senator Young because she's done a lot of work. So if you're interested in that project, visit with her, and so that way it's a group effort, and so that way it's not by themselves. And so there's a lot. I've already shared my feedback regarding the potential presentation, and so just a lot of research has got to be thought out. Student government does make a lot of projects, small or big. The flag project, it's kind of full circle because the flag project started by student government many, many years ago. And so, and I'm happy to go through the share drive to kind of look at to see if we have any historical things if needed. A lot of great feedback. I do encourage y'all, it was presented and it was in the news. And so I think that's why President Swartz presented on the master plan. Master plans take a really long time. It's kind of like, this is the vision of the institution of where we're going. And so although the plan is approved, individual projects that have been identified in that plan still require additional approvals. And so funding, where's it's going to come from, sustainability and whatnot. And so, but Dr. Philly has done a phenomenal job of outlining her expectations and priority. And so I do agree that when they come to present, that y'all provide that feedback, good or bad, they do value y'all's opinion on that and will definitely incorporate that into that. We're hoping to move as quick as we can, even on like the UC renovations, Stewart Hall renovations, Souls. There's a lot that we're going to try to do as quickly as we can, so that way we can increase student life here at UT Tyler. Tyler was spot on, and someone else on the tuition and fees. And so UT Tyler does a really good job of breaking down the fee structure. And so tuition is set aside for certain uses, and then each individual fee is set aside for those specific reasoning, where other institutions across the nation clump it all together. And it's kind of hard for students to figure out where the money's going. But here we break it down. That's why your bill looks very long, because we break it down so that way you know where everything's going. I appreciated the big event recap. In all my years, we've never had that kind of feedback. The surveys that we typically send out, Maddie is actually the point of contact for that. Maddie Bailey is the point of contact for that activity. It was the largest big event we've ever hosted. We had the official count is a little over 350. The weather was cold. And so I applaud all of you who showed up on a cold day to give back to the community. There was a lot of constructive feedback that easy fixes, and we will get those addressed. We did have a shuttle no show us, and then some of the project staff members were not updated about we were coming to volunteer. And so, and to answer a question that someone had, the city of Tyler helped us identify a majority of those projects. And so they helped identify. And of course, we work with some of our nonprofits in the community because we know they can accommodate large number of students. And then homecoming. And so I strongly encouraged, I loved hearing that you're excited about the golf cart parade. I'm hoping that we can continue to bring that back and grow that. There are some surprise elements that we're going to be doing that's a little bit different in homecoming that you'll have to check it out in order to see it, but it's going to be a fun week. Crawfish is going to be expanded. And so I'm excited about them, but with more food trucks, so that if you don't like crawfish, you'll have other alternatives to eat, and just a lot of more upscale activities at homecoming. And so now y'all play a vital role. And so with Midnight Breakfast kind of helping kickstart homecoming, that's exciting, especially if there's a roller activity on that. And then I don't know if I heard it clearly, but the distance campuses also get activities as well. As y'all know, shirts are limited, so you have to attend activities in order to get a homecoming swag. So other than that, it was a pretty good meeting.
Thank you for announcements. I have the AEDT Student Forum, which is way down here. So you guys can read this. So the Academy of Distinguished Teachers is having a student forum where they want to get perspectives of students from the learning and teaching aspect of life on campus. So I would highly, highly, highly recommend that you sign up for this. I am going to go. If you have class anytime from noon to 2, you are more than welcome to come late. I already asked because I also have class. So please, please, please sign up for this. It's a great way to let your teachers and professors learn about how you feel about learning on campus and to voice your opinions and things like that. Lunch will be provided. It's in the ballroom. So if you would like to do this, you can go ahead and scan that now. I highly, highly recommend you to do it. The Assistant Dean Carrie Ann Clark is actually a former student government president. So she understands how important our role is and understands that you guys are leaders on campus. So I would greatly appreciate it. If you want me to forward you this email, more than happy. Just let me know. So yeah, that is all I have for announcements. Next week, another meeting, and I entertain a motion to adjourn.